Daf Hey Amud Aleph on that we're on Daf Hey Amud Beis. But just to recap from Hey Amud Aleph, the Mishnah said the Stam Nazir Shloshim Yom. Without saying, if he didn't say a number, he just said I'm a Nazir. So Allah is 30 days. But there was a fundamental machlokes in the Gemara what that means. Rav Masna says that Nazir is really 30 days, and he says the Gematria Kadoshi Yeh Gematria 30. The Rosh says that not just an interesting point about Rosh's, that he says that not that he meant to say that this is the source. He says that Gematria is not one of the Yudgum Midah Shatan Rosh's band. And then I would just add on that it says in Pirkei Avos, Kufas Begat Gematrios is Papiros Lachachma. That doesn't mean you can't learn out from Yi, you can learn out of Drasha. So he says it's an Asmachta. But
Asmachta is not
Asmachta is not a source. Asmachta means that it's a remez only. But it will be Allah Moshe Messina. It means he's saying you could talk about Yi, it sounds as if it's a source, not really a source, a mnemonic or remez. And the real, what he really means to say is that it's Allah Moshe Messina. But we're not going to talk that way. Yes. But it's the rice. It's for sure the rice. Not saying it's Rabbana, but just pointing out that not every time that the Gemara says it Rush is that really the source. That goes into another subject we talked about there. So we're showing him here the Rush says so, that it says Yiyah, it's not really the source. But anyway, going back to the Gemara, he says that Yiyah is 30, and therefore Nazirus is 30 days. Marpada said because it says in the Nazirus, the Lashon of Nazirus, it says 29 times. And the parsha, besides the word Nazir Olakov, the Rosh says that over there means a crown, but the shoresh of separating, abstaining, Nazirus, is said 29 times. It comes out of fundamental machlokes. What is the pshat that Nazirus is 30 days? According to Abba, it's really 29, and the 30th day is going to be for the Tara process, the Tiglachas, the Kabbalah, the reason the next day. And according to Rav Masna, it's 30 days. The Isra of Nazirus is 30 days itself without the Tara process. The Gemara went into it a little bit, and we'll start again, if that's okay, from the top of just to see the Mishnayos again. And the Gemara brings the proofs to this. It says in our Mishnah, Stam Nazir Shloshim Yom. So the Gemara explained that it includes, my father says that it includes also the day that it brings the Kabbanas. The Gemara goes in now, the rest of the Gemara today came out, there's going to be the Mishnayos in the third parak. The Gemara is going to be now the Mishnayos in the third parak. And the Gemara is going to ask each shita how he's going to explain the Mishnayos. And the Rosh, I just noticed that the Rosh in the third parak, when he explains the Mishnah, he goes like the whole Mishnah through each shita. There's going to be Rav will explain this way, and Rav Master will explain this way. So if I put on the screen,
but Stam is here 30 days. That means you bring your kabbalas on the 31st.
Right. And then, right. So that's going to be the Gemara's kasha now.
Right.
So far, our Mishnah doesn't say all that information. Our Gemara just said Stam Nazir Shloshim Yom.
Right.
I'll just highlight the Mishnah here. It's going to say what you said. Mishama Reini Nazir Mekaleach Yom Shloshim Ve'echad. That's what you said. They're supposed to be the kabbalas on the 31st.
Right.
And the Gemara asked the kasha. The Gemara is asking kasha that according to Rav Masna is good, that the Nazirus is 30 days. So we the kabbalas on the next day. But according to Rav Pada, the 30th day should be already the day that you read the kabbalas because the Nazirus is over after 29.
Right.
So the Gemara said, Nasik Omer Shleiman. Which yesterday I didn't explain such a good shot. Nasik Omer, I mean, that's what the Meforshim say, but more or less. Nasik Omer Shleiman means that it's exerted with Rabbanan because sometimes you need 30 days. So the Rosh explains that people, they like a round number. And when someone makes himself a Nazir, he does it for 30 days, even though the Torah din would be 29. But people, they say 30. So even if a person just said, I made Nazir, we're going to tell them with Rabbanan to keep 30 days.
Yeah, if someone would say clearly 29, so that might be machlokes.
Or maybe, it could be, but so far they say that even if he didn't say 30, the word say Ka'omer Shleiman, which means like he said the Perish Shloshim was 30 days. So you're saying what if he said the Perish 29? Could be. But the way that they explain it is that they made a Xera that he has to keep 30. Because most people, when they make an Nazirus, they make 30. That's what Pada seems to say, even though I just have to highlight the rest of the Mishnah over here. The Mishnah over there says that Lachatchili should do it on day 31. If he did it on day 30, he's Yosef. So by Pada, each one means that, as the Gemara says, that each one is a kasha of Masna, who says that it's 30 days. How come with the every 30 and the 30th day is good? You should have to have the full day plus the next day is for the Kabbanas. And the one who says The Mishnah says 31. You should be Megalech on day 31. The Sefer says 30 is good. So the two ways to learn are that Pada says that really it's only 29 days. With Rabbanan, he should keep 30, he should keep 30 and read the Kabbanis. But if he did it on the 30 days, good, because really his Nazir is over. And Rav Masna, that's why it's Kashan Rav Masna. What is he going to do with the safe? How come the evidence Yotzei? Makes us Yom Kippur. That we tell him that Nazir is 30 days, read the Kabbanis the next day. And with the evidence will say makes us Yom Kippur as long as he started the 30th day, he's Yotzei already. That's as far as I got yesterday. And really, the Gemara started a series now of questions from the second parak. So if it's okay, I'd like to put on the screen the Mishnah of the third parak, and we'll just read the Mishnah first, then we'll go back into the Gemara. So if we may, to go on to, I think there's a way to do that. I can hold on to both. I forgot. 1 second. Let's, okay. So now I also have. Okay, so this is the Mishnah in the. If it's on the screen, this is the Mishnah in the third parak. I also just wrote on the top. Rav Masna's one holds really is 30 days, but Pada holds the one that really 29 days. We said Rav Masna holds mixed Yom Kikulo. So if you started the 30th day, is also Yotzei, and he can, and Pada is the one who says really is 29, and he doesn't hold the mixed Yom Kikulo. He doesn't have to stress this. But Pada does not hold mixed Yom Kikulo. So he has to have 29 full days. And the Chatchili should hold 30 days because some people make a rounded the zeros. But the Diavad, he's really Yotzei if he did the 29 days, and if he's the Kabbalah on the
follow
next
the
day.
idea that she is Kitzatz Kukul.
No.
No?
Again, Rav Masna is the one who says that Nazir is really 30 days, and mixing Yom Kikulo would mean that he can bring the Kabbalas. If he started the 30th day, he could bring the Kabbalas also on that day. But that's Chiddush, because mixes Yom Kikulo. The Chatchila will tell him to bring it on the next day. But Pada is the one who says that Nazir is 29 days, and he doesn't hold the mixes Yom Kikulo. So you have to have the full 29 days, bring the Kabbalas the next day. The Chatchila will tell him even to wait another day, because sometimes people make a rounded off number, and even if he said Hareni Nazir, which means I did is 29, we'll tell him keep 30. So each one,
Right.
both
So
so
they
far
come out the same.
comes out the same. So far comes out the same. That everyone will say L'chatchila keep 30 days and bring the Kabbalas on the 31st. And with the evidence, if he brought it on the 29th, and the 30th is also Yosef.
Even with the Pada, it doesn't let you bring the carbon on the 30th day?
He says everyone will say L'chatchila keep 30 days and bring the Kabbalas on the next day. That's what the Gemara is going to go into. So the Gemara started with this. This is now we're in Parag Gimel. The Gemara is jumping to the Mishnah in Parag Gimel. Let us put on the screen the Mishnah of Parag Gimel, and we'll go through it, and then we'll go into the Gemara. The Gemara is going to explain each one. So far what we did yesterday was the Gemara's explanation about this first part. This is what the Gemara explained so far. So let's start. Misha Amar Hareni Nazir. If somebody said I'm a Nazir, made himself a Nazir. So the halacha is Megalech Yom Shloshim V'Echad. He should do the Tara process, which includes that he cuts his hair, includes the Kabbanis, should be on the 31st day. If he did it with the Evan on the 30th day, he's also Yotzei. And how did the Gemara explain that if you hold, let's say, like Rav Masna, so it should be Shloshim V'Echad because the Nazir is 30 day, and do it the next day, the Kabbanis. If you did it on the 30th day, it's Yotzei because weeks the same. Pada will explain that you should do the 31st day because of Gzerah Rabbanan, that most Nazir people making a zero a rounded number, so keep 30 days and bring the Kabbanis the next day. And Gilch Yom Shloshim Yotzei because Minadin, that's what it is. Minadin, it's only Rabbanan to keep the next day. But really, after 29 days, you finish the Nazir, and you're allowed to bring the Kabbanis on the next day. Those are the two explanations of that part of the Mishnah. If he said explicitly, Hareni Nazir Shloshim Yom, he didn't just say Hareni Nazir, he said Hareni Nazir Shloshim Yom. So then it says in Gilch Yom Shloshim Lo Yotzei. Then he's not Yosef even b'diavad. Why should that be? Because according to our master, what? He's saying that I don't want to do mixed Yom Kikulo. I want to have the full 30 days. Right. And according to our father, why? Because he said 30 days. And he didn't say what he didn't say no, says 29 days, but if he said 30 days, he said 30 days. The Mishnah continues. Someone who made himself, he accepted upon himself 2 sets of Naziros. He's accepting 2 sets. So, and they go one after another. So what should he, and he does the Tara process after the first. And then again, it's not called Tara, maybe it's called Tara process, the finishing process.
Oh, then he has to bring Kabbalah the 31st day, and then he starts again. It doesn't go to 60 days, and then he has to what's the Kabbalah?
Right.
Each one is a separate.
It's on those 60 days, so then it's one set of
But he didn't say that. He said it's accepting two sets. So what should you lechatchila do? So the regular process would be that you do the 31st day. So that's so far it's the same. That the first giluach means he's cutting his hair, doing the kavanas. So he does that on day 31, as the Mishnah said before. Also, when he one set of one nazir. That's also he does the same thing. That on the 31st day he does the first giluach, and then he's on the same day he starts the second nazirus. He doesn't have to wait for day 32 to start. Day 31.
So he doesn't do 62.
So he doesn't do 62 because like a regular person that he took a haircut in the morning and then in the afternoon he says Areni Nazir. That's day one. He doesn't have to have a haircut and have a day that he didn't drink wine and Tamal Mason from the beginning of the day. From the day he starts, surely you start the first day in the middle of the day, and that's considered day one. So
that way.
Everybody. What I say now, that the day that he made himself a Nazir, he could have had a haircut in the morning. That's not a problem.
Right.
So here, when he had accepted upon himself two Nazirios, so day 31 is the day that he is Mugaleach, but he can start counting the first day one for the next set. He can start that on the same day, and then we'll tell him to wait 30 full days, 30 days, and then Mugaleach on the next day. That's going to be day 61.
Could be a guy is dead drunk. And then he says, I want to be a Nazir because he doesn't want to drink for 30 days because he's so strong. And it starts then. Right?
Obviously, he has to finish all the. He has to finish all the giluach and what? And he has to drink wine or something?
No, it doesn't have to drink wine. No, the giluach is, you don't have to drink wine. You may drink wine. You have to, but he is not allowed to because he's starting his next to zeros. There's no difference.
No,
You
he's
don't
got
have
the
to
whole
drink
day
wine.
to start in the zeros. No, because he's already committed at the beginning. He already, even before he started the first one, he already was committed.
You want to know would he be allowed to take a drink before he starts his next?
Exactly. Not only that, can he have a haircut? Because
He must have a haircut.
He must have a haircut.
The haircut is part of the process.
I'm not saying that drinking wine is the process. I thought he has
No, it's not part of the
look
process.
some wine.
It's not part of the process. So you want to know if he's allowed to.
You know what I mean? Because he abstained from wine. So I thought part of the deal was he had to drink.
There's no such thing. No such thing that he has to.
But cutting the hair, yes.
It does say that.
It means he may.
Okay.
What if this person who accepted upon himself two Nazirios, what if he didn't do what we told him? We told him that he should have been Megalech on day 31. He did it on day 30. On day 60. Makes sense? Again,
And how's he gonna have a break in between? And then there's gonna be 31 days.
we said a second ago that you don't have in the day of the day 31 and 61. What happened over there? That he did
He started
the
on that.
on the same day that he cut it, that he
Right,
finished the first one. He could also start the second one. Here also the same day that he finished, he could start the next one. Here he did it with the Eved. On the first set, he did it with the Eved that he was Megaleach on the 30th day. We should have told him to wait to 31. He did it. He did it on day 30. He's Yotze. According to everybody, but last time we went through that already.
Okay.
So here we still tell them do the lachatchila on the 31st of the second, which comes out on day 60. True, the math is good. That he finished the first one on day 30. He shouldn't have. He should have waited 31. But the other on day 30. But on that same day, he starts the second one. So now we'll tell him do it. Start today is day number 1. Day 30 is day number 1.
Right.
And wait for Chatchila until day 31. So that's going to be day 60. That's going to be day 60.
Right.
But what if he did it for the second time again? In Gilach Yom Shishim Chasirech, he did it day 59. He's also Yosef because he did both of them with the Yevid. The klal of the Mishnah is Lachatchila wait till the 31st day. With the Yevid, if you did it on the 30th day, you also Yotze. We had the two Pshatim, either Nazirus is really 30 days, the Mitzvah Yom Kekulo. or that Nazir is really 29 days, the Chatchila would tell you to make 30 days. But if you did it on 29, you Yotze. And then the Kabbalah, you don't say makes Yom Kikulo, and the day and the Kabbalah is going to be on the next day. So that's how the Gemara goes through the two Mishnayos, both in the case of Areni Nazir, one set, or the case of two sets. The Mishnah is going to continue.
Well, this is in Paragimel.
This is all Paragimel. That's what the Mishnah. So now we start. We'll go into our Gemara.
For now, I guess. Yeah, so it's cool.
So yesterday we did the first part of the Mishnah, which was so I made a mistake over there. Yesterday we did this part, which is Tanan. This is the Gemara quoting. We did this yesterday, and the Gemara quoted the Mishnah from the third parak. It says, "Misham Ma'arini Nazir Megalechem Shloshim V'Echad." According to Rav Masna, it's good because you have to have Nazirus of 30. But according to Rav Pada, why wait till day 31? The answer is, look in the Sefer. The Sefer says day 30 is good. On the contrary, that's a right to me. El Sefer is a right to me, to him, to Rav Pada. And the Reisha is because the Chatchila, we tell him, do Shleiman, as the Rishonim explained, that people usually keep a round number. So Rabbanan keep 30 days. Rav Masna, what's he going to do with the Sefer? How come with the Eved the Yotze? Makes it Yom Kippur. So that was the Gemara's pshat in the Mishnah and Paragimel, according to both opinions. Now the Gemara is going further to explain the next Mishnah. Here it says, oh, this is the same Mishnah that says that if he said beferish, Habeini Nazir Yom Shloshim Yom Lo Yatsa. So that just to jump to the Mishnah over there, that's what it said, just to see the Mishnah inside. That was the end of this first Mishnah. Habeini Nazir Shloshim Yom. Even the other is not Yotze on Yom Shloshim. Why is that? Because here he's saying, I said beferish 30 days. So you're not going to say Mixim Kikulo, and even
30 whole days.
Because he said 30 whole days, right? And also, 30 whole days, he doesn't want to Mixim Kikulo. And according to Bar Pada, that never holds a Mixim Kikulo, usually it's 29 because the Torah says 29. But he said 30. If you want to do 30, then it's 30. So that's the Gemara's answer over here. The Omish layman, that he says he wants 30 days. And according to everybody, he says he wants 30 whole days. Next part of the Mishnah. Mishnah Nazar Beis Naziros. This is the next part of the Mishnah over there, Mishnah Beis in Perek Gimel. This is all the Mishnah. Megaleach Esav Rishon Yom Lamed Ve'echad Vashniya Yom Shishim Ve'echad. And the Gemara is going to go to the same thing that I said a second ago, that either going to say, because saying L'chatchila do day 31 2 times. Each time do day 31, but doesn't come 62, it becomes 61 because that day can be used for both. Bishlam Rav Masna, he's the one who said that it's 30, but it makes it Yom Kikula. Nicha, that L'chatchila do day 31 each time. Ella, top of the Vav. Ella L'Bapada Kasha, how come you wait so long? It's only 29. Same answer. Look, continue reading. Ema Sefer. This also has to be highlighted. This is the Mishnah. Then Gilach, Esa Rishona, the Yom Shloshim, Megalechas Ashnicha, the Yom Shishim. But the Evid, if you did it on day 30, you could continue from there. It's good. And let's continue L'chatchila for day 31. How come with the Evid, day 30 is good? It's a right to me. I will say from Messiah, that Nazir is only 29. And then you wait till the next day is 30. So how come the Reisha? Reisha, Nasik, Omer, Shleiman, the same thing as the one said before, that with Rabbanan you have to wait for day 31 because most people make a Nazir for 30. Although Rav Masna Kasha is safe. How is he going to explain how come with the Evid, the Yotze on day 30? That we didn't show over there, just to continue the mission over there. This the mission over there. I made it smaller because just to not lose the trend. But over there it says that this mission about 2 Nazirios, the Zu'ed, the Seder, Papias, Almish, and Azar Shtein Nazirios, they came test. That's the Mesechus. Okay, so Mesechus is also, but it's over there in that the same Mishnah that if someone made on himself 2 sets of Naziros and Gilechas Rishon Shloshim Yom, Galechas Ashniya Yom Shishim, then Gilech Yom Shishim Chasirachad Yatsa. That if he had 2 Naziros and he did both of them with the Eved Yotze, Yom Shloshim all the way Minaminian, that the day 30 counts both for the first one and also for the second one. So that's what the Gemara says over here. Which is also saying a little bit, it sounds a little bit like Mahi makes the same Kikulo, but it's a Chiddush, the same makes Yom Kikulo on both times. That makes Yom Kikulo will be enough to count for the first Naziros, and also it starts the second Naziros.
On the B'diavad day.
Right, on day 30. We would have told him Lachatchila to be Megalech on day 31. He did it on day 30, and he utilized Mixed Yom Kikulo. And then we're going to tell him the end of the day is going to also be day number 1 for the rest, which is a Chiddush. I was going to say in 1 second that's more of a Chiddush. Mahi Mixed Yom Kikulo. What Chiddush do you see over here that part of the day counts as if the whole day? No, you said it a second ago. In the first case of the Mishnah, you said that. Why is there more of a Chiddush over here? To say that day 30, even though Nazir is 30 days, that once you did a part of the 30th day is good enough. And if you bought the Kabbanis on that day is Yotzei, that's not as big a Chiddush as saying that it also counts for the day 1 of the second set of Naziris. Because the Svar would be L'char Pashut that when you say Mixed Yom Kikulo, it doesn't mean the day is over. It just means that the beginning of the day is already started that day. So you did 30, you want to know, did you do 30 days? You did 30 days. But they say that it also counts for the first day of the second set. That's a huge Chiddush because you're saying that the day is over already. That once you did a little bit, it's over, and now you can start another set. So that's a big Chiddush. That's the same Mixed Yom Kikulo, and on both ends of the day. The beginning of the day was the end of the first set, and the end of the day is going to be the beginning of the second set. Not a Mishnah, not a Gemara. Continue with the Mishnah over there. Megillah Yom Shishim.
Didn't the Rav say that we can then we still have to do Chatchila, do the second then the 61st day?
Yes, even though he did
even though he's kosher on the 15th,
again, if we tell Lachatchila to do the first one on day 31, second one on day 61. Right. That would be Lachatchila, because he did each one on the 31st day. If he did the first one on day 30, he could Lachatchila do the second one on day 31, which comes out to day 60. And with if he did both of them,
a break of one day.
He didn't take any break. He's utilizing the same day for the beginning of the second set. So if he did the first one, he was Magalech on day 30. So we'll say fine. But now that was b'diavad. But now start Lachatchila, and this day also counts for that. There's a mixed Kukul on that also. But Lachatchila wait for day 31, which is going to be day 60. If you count day 30 as day number 1,
right? So
day 31 from that is going to be day 60. And if he did with the Evid over there also, and he did it on the day 30, it comes out to be day 59. And he's also Yotzei. That's what it says here. Bishlam of the Rav Mas Nanicha. Rav Mas is the one who says that the Nazir is 30 days with the mixed Yom Kikula. So we understand that you should have waited, like it says, and the fact that you are Yotzei on day 59 is because mixed Yom Kikula, and the middle day counts for both. Lamali. Why do you need the fancy reason of Shem Shloshim Minion? Ha'amar Shloshim Chaser Echad. He holds that the Nazir is only 29 days. Barpada is the one who says that the Nazir is really 29 days. So when he did both of them, only it was Megalech on the 30th day, he doesn't know the Mitzvah Yom Kikula. He doesn't know the Mitzvah Yom Kikula. Do you have to say a reason why is Yosef with the evidence in this case? Of course, he's Yosef. There's a Rabbanan, he should look at each one as if it's 30 days, like most people, when they make a round number, they make these years for 30 days. But that's only with Rabbanan. Surely he's Yosef. If he did, the first one is Megalech on day 30, and he was Megalech again on day 59. He did both of them with the Evid. It's only with the Evid on the Rabbanan. The whole reason why he should have waited is only Rabbanan that he should be a round number like everybody else. But there's no Chiddush over here that he's Yotzei if it's both of them he did on day 30. Because day 30 is really the din. The first, each of the zeros is 29 days. And then on the next day, he did wait 29 days, the 30th day is Megalech. That day starts again. And then day 29 again. You have 2 times 29. There's no Chiddush. You have to say, Shem Shloshim Olam Minyan. Amalacha, Rabbi is going to answer, this is my source. My source that I say that you don't say Miksiyam Kikulo and the zero says 29 is from this Mishnah. Means the Chiddush we said a second ago that you do two mixes Yom Kikulos at the same time, which is what Rav Masna says. That's a Chiddush that Prabhupada doesn't accept. It doesn't even accept it theoretically. Even if you say Miksiyam Yom Kikulo, it wouldn't be a double one. Does it make sense? What we're saying, Miksiyam Yom Kikulo means that when you started the 30th day, it's as if you came into the 30th day, you're in. But to say that it could be also in and over, that the 30th, it's over, the 30th day is over, now you start in the afternoon, so it's already starting a new day. That's a huge chiddush. And we said a second ago that that's a chiddush, that you might have thought Shane Nazir is low, Kamash Malan. But it seems that our Pada doesn't accept this Kamash Malan, and he says it's impossible. It's impossible that you're going to say mix Yom Kikulo 2 times. So for this Mishnah, he sees Yom Shloshim Mogul and a minion. This is where the Mishnah wanted to tell you that you don't say it's not because of mix Yom Kikulo, it's because the zero is 29 days. That's good for what it's telling you. This is my source. How do I know that I argue out of Masna? Because this Mishnah says that you'll say on both times, and to say that day 30 is going to count for both, you can't say that. So it must be that what's really happening is that it's a 29-day Naziros, and even though with Rabbanan you should have waited, but okay, with Rabbanan, so you didn't wait, so you missed out under Rabbanan. But the reason why day 30 could count for day 1 is because really it is day 1, but not because of Mixem Kikula. To go back to the Mishnah now, is coming to tell you this.
Usually we would understand that it means Mikdasim
And he's saying no, it doesn't mean that it means the fact that it can count for both days is because the Nazir is only 29 days in the first place. I think is what's being said. If we go back to
his
the
opinion.
what we're explaining about Pada. So those are the two sheets how you learn. Let's go back to the Mishnah again, if that helps. The case of the Shnei Naziros over here. Everyone says the Chatchili should wait for day 31 and day 61. And everybody says that if you, this already is a Chiddush. And Gilach is Rishon Yom Shloshim, Megalechas Ashnei Yom Shishim. That's still good. That's not yet Rabbi Pada wouldn't have seen that. He wouldn't have seen this Chiddush yet, that it must be because of 29. He still might say Mixim Kikula. It wouldn't be a kasha yet, but it says in Gilachim Shishim Chaser Echad Yasa. That's where Bapata gets that it can't be because Mixim Kikula. So just to sum it up, that according to Rav Masna, Nazir is 30 days, but Mixim Yom Kikulo, even in this big Chiddush where he had 2 in a row, and day 30 is really only 30 days for the first one, and he's going to use day 30 to be day 1 of the next count. He says that Mixim Kikulo, the beginning of the day is going to count for day 30 of the first. And then you could also count it for day 1 of the next set. And at the end, it's going to come out, he only did 59 days. And Bapada says that's impossible. Here's Muchach, that the way it works is that with the rice, it's only 29 days. And that's the reason why you could end up with 59 days altogether.
And it would.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay.
So the double bid here, so
Yeah, but also besides that, with
chop it down.
yes, each time he should have done 30, and each time he did 29, and he still Yotzim.
Maybe all opinions hold that's kosher and both opinions, both.
So far, there doesn't seem to be enough community. Just in the alumnus does it work with Mixim Kikulu on the rice of 30 days, or is it 29 days with the rice, and the Rabbanan is to be the extra day? And that's not getting it, and something's wrong. 29 and 29 should be 58. Why am I making a mistake? How come it comes out to be 59?
29 whole days, and the 30. The one is on 30.
He does two, right, thank you. That the 2 29s, and then it'll be 59, will be the carbon. Thank you. It really comes out that he did 2 Naziris of 29,
which is
and
58,
together it'll be
48,
58. But then he's gonna be in the carbon on the next day. And the day that everyone holds, even if our other holds, that the day that you finished the previous one, you bought the carbon is fine. Why not start the next day? You finished the Naziris yesterday. It's not even mixed Yom Kippur. Okay, let's learn the next Mishnah now before we go into the Gemara to learn the Mishnah. Back to Parag Gimel, we're continuing. If somebody became Tameh in the middle of the Nazirus, so that pasuk says that so he has to do the process of finishing off 7 days. On the 7th day of Paraduma, it becomes Tohar, and then he starts again. What if somebody is in Nazir and he became Tameh on the day 30? Someone became a Nazir and he became Tameh on day 30. So the Mishnah says he has to start again. So we could talk about that.
So now that shows us not 29 anymore.
Moshe is saying that Yod is 29, only with Rabbanan,
Right.
he has to wait till day 30, but really he finished.
Right.
So why should it be so serious like that? So Moshe is jumping on the Gemara's Kasha, that the Gemara is going to ask the Kasha on Bar Pada, who says that it's 29 days. Rabbi Lezer Omer ain't a Sosir El Shiva. Rabbi Lezer does argue in the Mishnah over there and says he only has to wait 7 days. What 7 days? Because he has to get out of his tumah. Like the regular case, if any knows the tumah, he has to wait 7 days. So that you'd be happy with.
Yeah.
And the contrary, Rabbi Lezer is mashma like Bar Pada, that it's finished.
Oh, yeah. Right, so why should you pay?
What could the answer for Rav Masna? That'll say Mikzas Yom Kikula. Is that true?
How is Rav Nasser going to say Rav Eliezer?
How's Rav Masna going to explain Rav Eliezer? Because of Mikzas Yom Kikula. That's how I was going to explain. That's what I was going to say. Okay, so that's the Mishnah. That if he became Tameh on day 30, he's machlokas if he's soser everything, or he's not soser, but he has to wait for 7 days in order to get out of his tumah, in order to start again. What if he said explicitly, Hareini Nazir Shloshim Yom? Then everybody's going to hold that he starts to start again because he didn't finish his Nazirus yet. Then it goes further about it. Someone says he's Nazir 100 days. We'll get back to that soon. So if we go back to the Gemara, Tanan, wrong one. What am I doing here? Oh, here. I've got my place. Yeah. Tanan. Mi Shamar Hareini Nazir. And Nitmayom Shloshim, so Sirasako. That's the continuation of the Mishnah over there. That if he said that he's a Nazir, which whatever that means, and if you can tell me on the 30th day, everything goes off. He sows everything. Because he didn't finish his Nazirus, because Nazirus is 30 days and he became Tamei before the Nazirus was over. So he has to start again. Kasha, because he also there's only 29 days. That was Moshe's Kasha. Read on. The Sefer says Rabbi Eliezer holds like me. Aim a Sefer, Rabbi Eliezer Omer Ein Asosir Shiva. So that's the right to me. That 29 days was good enough. And according to you, Rabbi Eliezer doesn't make sense. If you hold that you have to have 30 days and not 29, Nistar Kulu. Everything should go off. Like Tanakam, what does Rabbi Eliezer hold? In other words, what does Rabbi Eliezer hold according to you of Masna that says the Zirus is 30 days? Why does Rabbi Eliezer say that he wasn't so sick? He didn't get to he didn't have 30 days. So Rabbi Eliezer is going to say because Rabbi Eliezer makes a Yom Kikula. So before Rabbi Eliezer was saying that everybody else makes a Yom Kikula. Now it seems to be a machlokes. If he became Tamei on the 30th day, is makes a Yom Kikula enough to say that it's over already. So that seems to be a machlokes. Means everybody did hold before that their karban, as far as bringing their karbanis, will say that the evidence is good. But maybe they're not. Maybe the same mix Yom Kikulo as far as this. That seems to be a machlokes. But everyone is still kosher. Everyone got through the Mishnah. Rabbi Pada didn't explain the Tanakama, did he? Rabbi Pada didn't explain the Tanakama. Rabbi Pada has to agree that Tanakama is against him. Rabbi Pada said that Nazir is only 29 days. If it's 29 days, there's no way that it can be so safe. If he came to me the 30th day, there's no reason why it should be so safe. So he does as Rabbi Eliezer holds like me. So
I think since you have to say that Eliezer says Mitzvah Yom Kikulo.
No, I'm going down the sheet. You're going Rav Masna. What you said is now, they could be arguing about that. Rav Masna will say they're arguing in how much is Mitzvah Yom Kikulo. Even in the case where it's Nitma on the 30th day, is Mitzvah Yom Kikulo enough to say that it could pass, he got it. Or Mitzvah Yom Kikulo is not going to even say that Nitma. For the third, to bring the Kabbanis will say Mitzvah Yom Kikulo, but not if he became Tamei. That Rav Masna says. But Pada said that Nazir is only 29 days. How could he explain the Tanakama? If he became Tamei on the 30th day, how could it be so sad? So I think that the Russians or somebody says here that Pada has to say that Tanakama is against him. Even though Pada says that Rabbi Eliezer is like me, that 29 days is Nazirus, but he has to agree that the Tanakama is against him, that Nazirus is 30 days. Under Rabbanan, you're not going to be so serious. You're not going to be so serious at all. What could you say? That Rabbanan also so serious at all? It seems like my Rekasha.
From the Machlokas of the Tanakama, we see that the Machlokas is not if it's 29.
It's not going to be a 29 30?
That's not the Machlokas.
So what is it going to be the Machlokas?
If you say it's the same.
No, you're going in Rav Masna. You're not going in Rav Pada. You're going in Rav Masna that Nazirus is 30, and you can talk about Mitzvah Yom Kikulo. But if you say 29, there's nothing to talk about Mitzvah Yom Kikulo. It's 29 is over already. He became Tamei on the 30th day. How could Rav Masna explain the Tanakama? I'm sorry, Pada. Pada is the one who says Nazirus is 29 days. How can you explain the Tanakama that if he became Tamei on the 30th day, so Sirasako? What are you going to say? That the Rabbanan, with the Rabbanan that we said that he should wait for 30 days, we're going to say that even if he's also a call also. We said already that with the Eved, if he's Mekalech on the 30th day, it's good. Now we're going to say if he's Nitva on the 30th day, he's also a call. That seems impossible. I think I saw this someplace that a partner has to agree that
So
the
I
Tanna
think
Kama is
the
against
like
it.
that.
Why?
I heard a question felt like that, then the ratio, the kind of comments discussion,
I give up on that, yeah.
but you saw somewhere that I don't remember. I didn't get it. But you see from the way from this machlok is that their issue is something else, not the. If the word says clearly that it's a kasha.
I saw someplace. I'm trying to find where. I have to find it. I don't see it now. Okay, vain time. Next part of the Mishnah. Now it talks about if he said, I'm a Nazir for 100 days. How did we explain so far? I'll try to say my way. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'll try. That Barpada is going to say that they're arguing if it's Nazir is 30 days or 29 days. But Masna will say that everybody holds that as 30 days, arguing if you say Mixed Yom Kikulo, that's enough, even if he became Tommy on the last day, that he had some of the days good enough and he is not so. Tanan, the next part of the Mishnah, Hareini, it's in the Mishnah. I don't think I'm going to gain anything from showing it inside. Hareini, inside just means another copy over there, so it's all the same. Hareini knows him. He made himself to be a Nazir for 100 days. Whatever he wants, he can make up whatever he wants. He made 100 days. What if he became Tommy on day 100? So he didn't finish. So Sevasakol. Is there a way to get out of that? You could say Mixas Yom Kikulo. Here, that's what the Gemara wants. That you can't say, if you say that your Beleza holds by 30 days, it's also 30 days by regular Nazir. It's really 30 days. And the reason why it became Tommy in the 30th day, that it's not so is because Mixas Yom Kikulo, so there shouldn't be a difference between 30 days or 100 days. 100 days also you say Mixas Yom Kikulo. If you hold that they're arguing how long the Zerus is, that's how Barpad explained. Tanakama holds the Zerus is 30 days, Barpad holds that as 29 days. But if he said 100 days, it's surely 100 days. So Beleza is going to agree over here. I'm making a mistake. Beleza, I'm not saying well. But the Gemara is going to ask Kash right away. Okay, and so far doesn't make sense according to anybody. Good. At least I'm going with the Gemara. First, the Gemara says you can't say Beleza holds Mixas Yom Kikulo on day 30 because he should hold Mixas Yom Kikulo also by day 100. He's like the Daitach Sabra Beleza Mixas Yom Kikulo, and that's the reason why by day 30 it wasn't so to everything, only 7 because he has to get out of his tumah. Here also is there only Shiva. So that's a kasha against Rav Masna, who explained that Rav Beleza holds Mixas Yom Kikulo l'gabi tumah. But the Gemara says back, and Barpada, you want any better? V'losav Mixas Yom Kikulo l'sta kulu. So you should also don't make sense because you said the only reason why Rav Beleza holds that if he was tummy on day 30, it's not so everything is because Nazirus is only 29. But here, when he said 100, it's surely Nazirus is 100. So, and you don't hold it all Mixas Yom Kikulo. How come Rav Beleza doesn't say it's close to everything? So Barpada is going to answer. Which ask the question over again. If you don't know Mixas Yom Kikulo, like Barpada says, so how come it doesn't knock off everything when he came somewhere in the 100th day? That's the Pashpat is saying this is the laws of the Nazir. On the day that he finishes, he should come to the base of Mikdash, continue, etc. But the word is mentioning on this pasuk. On the day that he finishes, the day of finishing, the finishing day. The Pashpat you might say on the day that he finishes means when it's all over.
31st day.
Right. The day after he finishes. But the word is mentioning there's Yom Malos. The day that he finishes. On the day that he finishes, there's those Torahs and Nazir. If he became tummy on the day that he finishes, really the pasuk is not talking about becoming tummy at all. This is really talking about the Nazir Torah, that he finishes the whole number. But if he became tummy on that Yom Malos, give him a Torah's Nazir. What's a Torah's Nazir? Give him the minimum. So he should be a Nazir for the 30 days. So about Pada, this is the end of that Gemara. Make a 2 dots over here. Up here. That Pada, the Gemara doesn't explain Rav Masna. The Gemara doesn't explain Rav Masna is going to learn over here. So that's getting off of this. Rav Pada says that the arguing, if you say this is, I thought that this is Rav Pada talking.
Oh, because we're saying that everybody holds that long minimum.
Right. According to, if Abulaz would hold Mitzvah Yom Kikulo, then it wouldn't make sense that day 100 that he doesn't hold it. That's more kasha. It doesn't make sense. But on day 30, Abulaz said that he's not sosa.
Right, yes.
It's whenever it says 7 days, it's another way of saying that it's not sosa. You just have to get out of your tumah. So by day 30, Abulaz said that it's not sosa, and by day 100, he said that it is sosa. So he turned to Rav Masri. It doesn't make sense. You're saying that Nazir is 30 days, and how come Abulaz says on Nitman the last day, on day 30? How come you say that it's not sosa? You're gonna have to say Mitzvah Kikulo. Then it wouldn't make sense on day 100 either. If he said I'm Nazir for 100 days and he became Tommy the 100th day, also Abulaz should say it's not sosa because Mitzvah Kikulo. So the Gemara doesn't explain, doesn't have an answer. And by Pada, we do have an explanation that by day 29 and 30, the machlokus over there is Tam Naziros. Is it 30 days or 29 days? No mix Yom Kikulo. Tanakama says that it's 30 days, so Nitman the 30th day, no good. But Rabbi Lezer says no, that the Naziros is 29 days. So Rabbanan each way 30 days. But if he became Tammy, surely after the Naziros is over. So, but if he said 100 days, so then he has to, you don't say Mitzvah Kikulo, and that's why he has to, that's why he's sosa. Really, he should be sosa everything. And when it came to Tammy on day 100, he should have to start again the whole 100. But there's a special, there's a custom, and Yom Malos, if he became Tammy on the last day, so then he only has to do the minimum, which is 30 days.
Oh.
Which will be really 29 days according to him. Yom Malos, you give him a Torah's Nazir. That's the end of that. And now the Gemara starts with Machlokas we find someplace else. We have Yoshia, and here it says Rabbi Yonasan. Some take out the Yonasan and say Rebbe. And the Gemara thinks that they found the Machlokas between Bar Pada and Rav Masna. We found the Machlokas Tanon. Maybe it's Machlokas Tanon. Now the truth is that Bar Pada said it's Machlokas. They think that this Machlokas we have on top of the page about Nitma B'Yom Shloshim. I think that's what he's saying. That Belaz holds that it's 29, and Tanakam is going to hold that it's 30. That's why Nitma the 30th day. That's how Bar Pada explained. But the more things is dependent on this different machlokas. The Brisa says, Ad Malos HaYomim. This is the beginning of the parsha. It's not the same Malos as I said before. The Yom Malos. This is a different pasuk. Ad Malos HaYomim. It says over there that he should not cut his hair. It seems to have a pasuk over here. Let's see where does it have the psukim? This print over here. Here it is. The Zos Teras HaNazir. The Yom Malos Yemein is not the wrong one. Number 2. That was the other pasuk I meant not to say. Kol Yemein Eden Israel Tal Yavel Rosho Ad Malos Hayamim Asher Yazil Hashem Kadosh Yeh Gadol Peres Rosho. All the days someone makes himself a Nazir, all the days of his Nazirus, a razor should not pass over his head until the completion of the days that he separated to Hashem. He should be holy, and let his hair grow long. So here it says Ad Malos. So the Gemara says about this. Sorry. It says in the pasuk, Ad Malos HaYomim, Shomeni Miyat Yomim Shnayim. I might think 2 days. What's Yomim? Until the fulfillment of the days. So what's the days? Plural is 2. So you might think that 2 days is in zeros. So Yoshi says no, that in zeros is not 2 days. This is talking about regular zeros. No one's telling me nothing, that he has to let his hair grow. Ad Malos HaYomim. So Yomim means days. Malos and Yomim is days, so it's 2 days. You might think that Naziris is 2 days. No, it says Kadosh Yeh Gadol Pera. And then Gidol Pera, Sar Pochas Mishloshim, that I could have learned the Brisa means that you can't call it long hair until 30 days, but like as far alone. But the Gemara seems to understand that it means because of the process of Kadosh Yeh. Kadosh Yeh is Gematria 30. So that's what Yoshi seems to say. The way that you know 30 days is from the word Yeh. Rabbi Yonasan, some take out the word Yonasan, Rabbi Yomer, Elotzar. You don't have to have that drasha. The Gemara might say that it's wrong. Rabbi Yomer, Ad Malos HaYomim. It doesn't just say Yomim, it says Malos HaYomim. What kind of days need to be completed? At the Omer Shloshim. A month is called the completion of some kind of a unit. And the Mefarshim say, because sometimes it's the lunar cycle is 29 and a half days plus. So you have to complete it till the 30th day. Sometimes it's 29, sometimes it's 30. They call it a mola yachasa. The days that have to be filled, completed, is 30 days. That's the source. You don't need your source of Kodosh Yiyah. It's enough to say Malos Yamim. It's enough of a source, and Yam doesn't mean two. It means Malos Yamim, the days that have to be completed, which means 30 days. So L'chora, we take it innocently. The both of them are saying the same thing. Just machlokas what the source is. Is it from Yiyah or is it from Ad Malos? But the more thinks that there's machlokas going on. And the halacha, my love of Masna Dama Rav Yoshia, of Masna who says Yiyah 30 days is like Rav Yoshia, that he says Yiyah. Parpada, he said Ad Malos, Dama Rav Yonasan, that says what? That is 29. Where does he see 29? The Gemara thinks that Ad Malos means until the completion of the 30 days would mean 29. That's called Ad V'lo B'chlal. The first one said Beferish, that if he says Yiyah, that means 30 days. You can't say 29. Yiyah is 30.
Till the day that you fill.
That you means 20 means what? 29. The first
29 is the day that you fill.
29.
29 is the day that you fill. 30.
Why is 29 the day 30 is the one that you fill? What do you mean? I don't understand. When you make a new month,
is 29 and a half.
you're calling that 29th is called the Yom Alos. I think the Gemara is going to say that Machlokas is going to be Ad B'Ad B'Chlal or not. It means the Gemara takes that if you say Ad B'Chlal, so it means 30. And if you say Ad B'Chlal, the Yom Alos is going to be the 30th day. That's called the completion of the month. I think when it's a mole. So the Yiyah you can't budge. Yiyah is 30. That's gematria. But it doesn't say over there Ad. It says Kadosh Yiyah. But the second person that says Ad Malos, the Gemara thinks first the Gemara thought that means 29. That means 29 and Ad V'lo Ad B'Chlal. So you see a machlokes 29 and 30. Rapadim are now arguing it Nazir is 29 and 30. They might think that found machlokes between Rabbi Yoshia and Rabbi Yonasan or Rabbi. My love, Rav Masna Dama Rabbi Yoshia, that it's 30. Yihiyah. Or Rapadim Dama Rabbi Yonasan, that it's 29. Ad Malos until V'lo B'Chlal. Rav Masna can say. So it seems here, or maybe this is what I saw when I spoke about being machlokes. I think about Avnisim. I said the Rishonim say, they say it over here, that Rapada is going to say it's machlokas, this machlokas. But Rapada can't explain Rabbi Yoshia. Rabbi Yoshia says Yiyah. So that's 30, you can't argue with that. So I made a mistake, but I quoted the Rishonim, but didn't say it before. I looked into it before, if I was right about machlokas and the nitma over there. But okay, so I take it back, no source here. But so Rapada can't get out of it. Rapada can't hold like Rabbi Yoshia because Rapada says 29 days and Rabbi Yoshia said that Yiyah is 30 days. But Rav Masna, who said 30 days, he could say everyone holds 30 days. Everybody, Yiyah is Yiyah, that's Rabbi Yoshia, and even Rabbi Yonasan, he said Ad Malos, he holds Ad V'Ad B'Chlal, V'Ad V'Ad B'Chlal Pligi. Rabbi Yoshia said Ad V'Ad B'Chlal. Therefore, he could have learned from Ad Malos because he says in general Ad V'Ad B'Chlal will come along 29 days. Therefore, he learns out from Yiyah that is 30 days. Rabbi Yonasan said Ad V'Ad B'Chlal. When he said Ad Malos, he didn't mean 29. He meant 30 also, but he holds Ad V'Ad B'Chlal. So I just would look in the rush over here. This is probably where I saw it, that he says that it's going to be in the Machlokes. Where am I holding? Is there rush over here? Okay, I still don't see it. Okay, I'll try to find it. Fine. The Gemara now ends off, just finish off the Gemara. The Gemara says that days that have to be filled is the 30. Ad Malos HaYomim, so it means 30. Amar Mar, if there's days that have to be filled to some kind of a unit, it must be a month, 30 days. The Gemara Sakashi, who says maybe it means completes it to a week. Famous Shabbos, maybe the 0 to 7 days, and when it says Ad Malos HaYomim, it means to fill a day which needs to be filled is the end of the week. Shabbos is 7 days, then it's called the completion of a week. The Gemara says no. Shabbos Mika Chasirusa. Shabbos doesn't have any possibility of being less than 7. When you say it has to be completed, it sounds like there's sometimes that it's less, it's deficient. Sometimes sometimes it's filled. But a week doesn't have that. A month has 29, 30. So then you can talk about filling it, the day of the fulfillment. But on Shabbos you can't talk about that. The kasha is still the Amos Shana. That a year also is not always the same. Sometimes it has to be filled. So I thought that it means a leap year. But I see the Mefarshim will talk about that depending on how many months there were in the year, how many 29 and 30 there were in the year, so the year could fluctuate a couple of days. I'm not sure why doesn't that learn simple, that it means the leap year. I'm not sure. But the Gemara says, Shana, maybe a year, and say that in the Stam Nazir is going to be a year, because that's also Admalos Hayamin. The answer is, Mimanin and Liyome. We don't count a year as units of days. We wouldn't call it like that. We wouldn't call it. If anything, it would be fulfilled by months, which maybe that's why they don't. That's why they don't say my answer. They don't say my shot because the answer wouldn't make sense. I don't know why. It might be a kasha without the Gemara answering it. But the Gemara is asked only that there are days. Sometimes it's 354, 355. That's the thing over here. Shinun Gimel, Shinun Dalit, Shinun Hey. That depends on the year, how many months we're in. Not how many months. It's going now. It's not with a leap year. With a non-leap year, right. You can have sometimes 353, 354, 355. So that the Gemara says we don't talk about days when we're talking about a year. The months of the year, a year is counted by months. We count months for years. We can have 12 months, we can have 13 months, but we don't count days for years. So that's not going to be called a milui of the year by saying it has a couple of more days. So we have to look at the Maikasha.
It may depend on the days, but the days affect the months. And the month which is what affects the year.
Yes, right. But the question is still be about leap year. If you have other sheni, so why is that not called that you're completing the year?
It's because it's the months which change, not the days.
Let's say that. Admalos hayamin. I got it. That if it would be true, that it wouldn't be called Los Hayamim, it would be Malos HaChadashim. Thank you. Okay, so I didn't get all the details, but in general, what came out, a machlokis, if Naziris is really 29 or 30. If it's Yiyah, it's going to be 30. It might be Allah Moshe Sinai, as the Rosh says. And if it's from how many times it says in the pasuk, we have now two drushes for the other side of 29. The one of 29 can say because it says 29 times some shorish of the word Nazir and the parsha of Nazir, or because it said Ad Malos Hayamim, which means that which needs a fulfillment of days, which is going to be a month, and Ad, if you hold Ad V'lo Ad B'chlal, if you hold that Ad Malos doesn't mean including that day, it'll only be 29 days. The one who says 30 also has two drushes. Either it could say Yihya, or he could say Ad Malos, and he says Ad B'chlal. The Gemara went through I think, I have to look at it again now, this says not Sapashit, then I thought that since it says by Nitma B'yom Shloshim, is a machlokis if he sows everything or not. The one who says that it sows everything, L'chorah has told that Nazir is a Shloshim Yom. And you don't say Ad B'ad B'chlal, as far as the Nitma, as far as being the Korbanos B'diavad, he will say Ad B'ad B'chlal, but not, he will say Mixiam Kikulo, but not as far as Nitma. And Rabbi Lesser says, no, even for that also, we'll say Mixiam Kikulo. And the other pshat would say that he holds that it's 29. But that doesn't, but how did the Gemara go? The Gemara disproved Rav Masna. The Rishonim folks speak out that the Rav Masna is disproved. They say a teretz, but the Gemara doesn't answer him. But Pada says they don't say Mixiam Kikula. Machlokis is if the zero is 29 days or 30 days. The reason why there's a Machlokis, if Nitma B'yom Shloshim is Soser or not, is Mamashis Machlokis, if the zero is 29 or 30. And it says in the Mishnah that if you said a certain number, 100 days, that it will less is maskim over there, that it's no, over there is also machlok. Over there is also over there master it says it's supposed to 30 days. Something doesn't make sense either way. That it's supposed to 30 days. What does supposed to 30 days mean? Either everything or nothing. So my brother says I can say a pshat that on the Yom Halos, on the day that's finishing, then it's exercise that he has to do another Nazirus. So when he did on day 100, he has to do 30. But in the case where it was a regular Nazirus, Then what? Then the Machlokas, then according to Bar Pada, it's only 29 days. And therefore, even though with Rabbanan he should have waited another day, but with the rice is good, and therefore he's not supposed to anything. Okay, Epis.
Sure.
Yes, you call.
Sure.
Yes, you call. Thank you.
I think my this is really a note from the article.
Now what did the note say?
About from the fact that it's even Nazir disagrees with the Tanakama, it shows like shows that that
So Papa was saying that Papa is right.
it's
There's no way to explain Rabbi Lezer. Papa explains Machlokas Rabbi Lezer that the issue of Rabbi Lezer is because on day 30, the Rabbanan should have kept it, but the rice is only 29. Now what are you going to say? How are you going to say the Tanakh? And by 100, we said that over there, you have to just because you have to keep 30. How are you going to explain according to Rabbi Masna? How are you going to explain Tanakhama according to Bar Pada?
so the way he understands, I think it's a note from the article that since we see that there's my focus Lezer and the Tanakama on that thing, so we see that they hold like that also the Tanakama holds like
Bar Pada, again, I'm saying the same way, I think. The Tanakhama was like also 29? 29. So how come?
So why is this so called?
How come Sosa? Mirabanan? The Rabbanan is going to be even
Not
Sosa.
the Rabbanan, but from the fact that from that focus.
So here is it possible to be that with Rabbanan he has to it's Sosa with Rabbanan? But the right says it's 29 days, everything's fine. But maybe it's Sosa be with Rabbanan. Is it possible to say that it's Sosa everything with Rabbanan? The Gemara didn't understand. The Gemara asked it as a kasha, by the way. You have to defend himself. But Melissa says like we didn't say with Rabbanan.
The Gemara doesn't end with it as the kasha as on.
Yeah, all right. And it continues like Mikatano. That would have been okay. Then Mikatano would have been good if it could find Tanon like him. So he has a Tana, even though this mission holds against him. Okay. Rough copy.
You can't say it's also Minurbarim because it's been Kabbanos.
When it's Sosa, what does he do? When he's gonna bring a korban tuma? Sosa also includes the korbanos.
So you have to say it's the Isa.
You have to say it's the Raisa. So then we're stuck. That how could the Tanakama? What am I saying now? About how can you explain the Tanakama? Tanakama says that it's Sosa and he holds Nazir is only 29. How can you explain the Tanakama? You must give in that Tanakama holds that it's really 30. That's what I was suggesting. I thought that we should say so, but I have to look at it again. Okay, that's your everybody. Thank you.
I think it's Amish bothers you. Yeah, no, I think it's